from each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are, from memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight, reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I'm Jeffrey, and we are back today with the 116th Disney feature-length film from one day after our last one, which is August the 1st of the year 1974. It is a film called The Castaway Cowboy. The Castaway Cowboy, which is a film I had never heard of before, is the return of James Garner and Vera Miles, who were the couple in One Little Indian. They named it, not me. In a couple, which we watched a few films ago. Would you like to start us off with a synopsis about The Castaway Cowboy?
A Texas cowboy is rescued at sea by a 12-year-old boy. While he waits to return home, he decides to help out his rescuer's family.
There you go. Thoughts on The Castaway Cowboy?
I mean, I can just kind of go over them after, I guess.
Oh, for facts and stuff?
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts about the film?
I had never heard of it.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect to like it. Um,
Was it the Castaway part or the Cowboy part that made you not think you're gonna like it?
to be honest, both.
Okay.
I was skeptical, you could say, I guess.
Hold on, I have to fact check myself. I have a joke, but I want to fact check myself real quick.
Okay.
Um,
It is the 82nd live action film produced by
okay.
Disney Studios. Let's see. The older main character, male, mispronounces the younger male main character's name 6 times.
I pronounced his name wrong a bunch of times in my notes until the end when he wrote it or when he said it, I was like, oh, his name is not Hooten, it is Booten.
Yeah.
So I was also wrong. I fact checked myself.
His name is Booten, and he called him Button, Barton, Burton, Batten, and Benton.
There you go. And I called him Hooten, but it's Booten. I fact checked myself,
Okay.
and Tom Hanks played a castaway and a cowboy in films before, so he is, in fact, the Castaway Cowboy. So yeah, James Garner and Vera Miles are back. James Garner, of course, from The Notebook, and Vera Miles, of course, from a few films that we've watched so far. Anything else before we dive right into film number 116? Because believe it or not, we've made it to 116 films.
I'm gonna go ahead and dive in.
All right, so we see a beach during the opening credits.
Mhm.
There's some people diving into a swimming hole. But then, when they're enjoying their time at the swimming hole, they see that there's a man that has washed up on shore.
Mhm.
Anything you want to add to that so far? They're very
Just that
Hawaiian-looking
who
people living in Hawaii.
fishing
Yeah.
at this swimming hole, and the boy, the blonde boy with a spear. I just refer to him as the blonde boy throughout the entire thing.
Booten,
It's
who I refer to as Hooten for most of this.
So we're on an island,
In Hawaii.
and there are people from the island fishing, and then a blonde boy with a spear finds a man floating in the surf and yells for help, and the people that were fishing run over to help him pull him out.
Yeah. So they bring him up to the village. And then they like get the boy's mother and one of like the other elders to like look after this guy. The guy wakes up in the boy and lady's house. This is where we learn that the boy's name is Booten, but I refer to him as Hooten.
Who names your kid Boot?
I mean, I thought it was Hooten, which is worse. Let us know. Deep dive into measurepod@gmail.com. Um, this is where we learn that we are on an island in Hawaii, and the man wants to know how he got so far away from Texas. But as he gets better, he starts talking to Vera Miles' character, who is, of course, Booten's mother. There's another discussion, just like in One Little Indian, where he talks about using Vera Miles' dead husband's razor.
Yes, I actually um put that in my notes as another movie where this lady lets someone use her dead husband's razor to clean up.
Yep. So this is
Why?
she has a reputation, I guess. Um, what if it's the
Oh,
same dead
but
husband?
uh, they moved anyway. So
They did move actually in the last film.
the villagers had brought the man to the boy's mother's home, and she has him bring him into the side room to help tend to him. And when he wakes up, the boy is in there, and he asks him, "Where in the world are we?" And he's like, "Oh, you're in my house." He's like, "No, where in the world are we?" And I thought that was interesting.
They're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We learned the mother's name is Henrietta.
Hmm.
Um, and they were like, "Yo, you almost drowned." And he says, "Well, you can't drown if you're meant for something worse," which I thought was a pretty good line. We learned that his name is Lincoln, but his friends call him Link, so I will refer to him as Link for the rest of the film. He has been shanghaied from his ship. You want to talk about that before we dive into the cattle in the garden with him being shanghaied from his ship?
Well, the lady had asked him if he was a deserter, but he had explained to her that he wasn't and he was shanghaied. So basically, I think I have this in my other notes over here somewhere in the trivia section. So the phrase used to describe what happened to Lincoln Costain in San Francisco was shanghaied.
Yep.
And shanghaied is a term that refers to a particular type of kidnapping where the hostages are made to work as sailors.
I think that they just threw him overboard and took a ship. Okay, I guess that makes sense. So speaking of our animals making a scene right now, the next scene that we see, there's cattle in the garden. And that's not a good thing because we will learn more about that later. But there's cattle in the garden and our dog is causing a fit. So if you hear it barking, blame Faye. DavinTheMagicBlood@gmail.com. So guess we will test how good this microphone is. But we also learned that Booten is taking a liking to Link. And Henrietta is going into town on her horse and carriage. And then Booten tells Link that there's this man called Bryson, who he doesn't like.
Hang on. He gives him a real Hawaiian hat first.
Oh, he gives Link a Hawaiian hat?
Yeah,
Okay.
he made Link a real Hawaiian hat, and Link had mistaken it for food. He said, "I'm sorry, I'm not really hungry." And he goes, "No, it's a real Hawaiian
Yeah.
hat."
So that's funny. Henrietta, the boy's mother,
Yeah.
Booten, not Hooten, goes into town and Booten, not Hooten, tells
Now, did you go back and change it in your
No.
notes, or you just left it?
They all say Hooten. Um, and he's telling Link about how there's this man that wants to marry his mother. His name is Bryson. He's like a successful older man,
Mhm.
and he doesn't like him because he wears perfume.
And he calls him boy. But he has really good rock candy.
But at least he got his name right. Boy's better than Barton and Berwin and Hooten or whatever.
Did
So
that on purpose.
I guess. So whatever. He's excited. He's showing Link around as Link gets better. We then see Henrietta and Bryson are talking about his company and the island. You want to talk about this dude?
So Bryson is trying to talk Henrietta into selling the farm, but she explains to him that she doesn't want to sell the farm as it means too much to her. But she also insists, with the amount of money that she owes him, that they should be nothing but business partners.
But it is also here where the camera just so slightly picks up a wanted poster in the background for a man who is wanted at sea.
Mhm.
So it puts that seed of who is this Link guy? But we also learned that the family, Henrietta and Booten, own 10 acres,
10,000.
10,000 acres, I'm sorry, 10,000 acres for their potato farm. And everybody on the island works on the potato farm. Right? We're up to date. We're good.
Yeah, so the boy tells Link
Booten, not Hooten.
that the workers are swimming because the potatoes aren't doing too good. So there we find out that their main source of money is not in a good way.
Correct. Um, Again, they're getting to know each other more. They're talking about their personal lives, but
But Link is very impressed that they own 10,000 acres of land.
I don't know if he knows it just yet, though.
He
Oh yeah,
did
yeah,
tell him
yes,
that,
yes,
yes.
yes. Right. The cows are back in the garden,
Mhm.
which causes a bunch of hijinks. And I've when I was writing the word hijinks here, I realized I use the word hijinks a lot in these
Mm.
movies. Hijinks ensues.
You skipped one of my favorite parts.
Okay.
So Link asks if or not Link, the boy asks Link if he has ever been married and never had any kids of his own.
Are
And
you
he
gonna
said
have
no.
children?
And then Link tells him that he had smallpox once, and that pretty much equates to the same thing as having a wife. And I thought that was funny.
There you go.
Okay. Now the cows are back in the garden.
The
Sorry.
cows are back in the garden, and believe it or not, a bunch of hijinks ensues. Except this time it involves a cannon. Want to talk about that?
Well, the lady that helped the mother tend to him when he first got there is ringing a triangle for help. And the workers pull this cannon out that's on like a makeshift.
Dolly type deal.
Yeah. And I want to say it had plants around it too, which I thought was weird. Anyway, so they fire this cannon to run the cows back, and Link is just baffled by this. Like, what
I
are
mean,
they doing?
so would you.
Yeah. He has lived in Texas, he knows cattle, and he is just dumbfounded by their actions. Um, then the boy gets cornered
Booten, not Hooten.
by one of the bulls, and Link literally grabs the bull by the horn to save the boy after the bull cornered him.
Yep. Link stops the cattle from attacking Booten, like you said.
Mhm.
And this is where he has a conversation about their land, and we learn that prices have dropped off on the potato business, so they're not doing as well as they think they are.
Yeah.
But then Link says, "Well, you can get $20 a head for those cattle in California."
Mhm.
But they never, they can't bring the cattle to California,
Yeah.
and that
But the
then
mother
sets up
was
the whole
very
entire.
impressed
Yeah.
with his cattle skills,
Mhm.
and she tries to convince him to stay and work on her farm.
Correct. She even offers him room and board.
Mhm.
But when we learn that they can get $20 a head for the cattle, that's where like the whole premise of this film really kind of gets into high gear.
Mhm.
Um, she tells the workers about catching and selling the animals instead of the potatoes, but the workers are nervous about it.
Mhm.
And but Link is going to teach them how to ride and catch animals.
Mhm.
And it wouldn't be a Disney film if hijinks didn't ensue with them trying to learn how to ride the animals. Want to talk about that?
So we see the man, Link, trying to train them how to ride a horse. There's some hijinks there. It's quite hilarious. And we see uh, them move on to like a lassoing lesson, which gets even funnier. Um, at one point, they're trying to saddle the horses, and the boy
Booten, not Hooten.
tries to put his saddle on, and it falls off,
Mhm.
and he is just fed up with this and starts to walk away. And Link sees him and tells him, I didn't hear the dinner bell ringing.
Mhm.
Like where I'm from, we don't stop until the dinner bell rings, and I didn't hear the dinner bell ringing. Did you? And the boy says no, and he says, let's come back over here. And he like helps him put it back on or whatever.
Do you
No.
know how the kid walks away?
No.
With his boots, not his hoots.
Anyway, so um yeah, so he learns how to saddle his horse.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up learning how to ride. He's doing much better than some of the workers on his lessons.
Correct.
Um,
But then cuts to the next scene,
yeah.
and we see that Henrietta is taking out another loan from Bryson.
Mhm.
But she wants to do it professionally, even though he doesn't want to do it professionally. She wants to sign for it. She wants to put collateral up. Like she wants to be professional about it. He's obviously in love with her.
Well, we think.
But then, in a weird scene that I must have not quite grasped the cause for, it just cuts to Link squaring off with one of the leaders from the workers, and they're throwing spears back and forth at each other.
Yeah, so he is trying to teach the workers a whole nother lesson on something else. And we find out later in the film that the witch doctor of these people is not happy with Link. He doesn't like him being there. And he basically kind of challenges him. And then they throw the spear back and forth at each other. Very interesting. I was like, whatever. And then towards the end of this argument, uh, Link tells him, well, where I'm from, this is how we do it, and just punches him square in the face and knocks him out. And he says, now you leave here and don't you come back.
So it's basically before that, Link does trip, causing the man to like hold the spear to his throat,
Yeah.
but the man lets him go. But then Link, like you said, punches him and tells him to leave.
Yeah.
The next scene, randomly, a bunch of people arrive via horse and carriage, much to everyone's excitement, but they never really talk about what those people are for.
Oh, so they did. So those people came because they were the ones delivering the horses. That's why she was taking out the extra money. It was a loan to get horses because he said that he needs horses if he is going to um,
Catch the animals.
corral the cattle.
Well, I'm happy that you caught that because I was incredibly confused.
Well, I really enjoyed this film.
So, spoilers. They all go back to saddling their horses.
Yeah.
They all practice riding. Again, some hijinks comes.
Hmm.
Um, anything about that? Or we're clear that that's just a bunch of hijinks, slapstick stuff with them trying to figure out how to ride and catch the animals.
Horses arrive. Hijinks ensue with the workers trying to learn how to ride their horses. Bryson meets Link.
Yeah, that was my next note.
And then he tells the boy, Link tells the boy, because I guess at that point Link's not impressed with him either. Link tells the boy, at least he has good rock candy. And then they laugh and walk off together. And then Bryson's just kind of looking at them like, what's going on?
So that's correct. The one thing that you did miss from that though is Bryson tells Link that he will not be able to load the cattle onto the boats because there's no docks.
Mm-hmm.
And they make that rock candy joke and they laugh. But then it cuts to all the workers are out having fun again in the fishing holes and the waterfalls. And Link is not happy about this because they should be working, but Link ends up getting pushed into the water.
Well, he gets knocked into the water by somebody going down a slide. He was just in the way and didn't realize it. The boy tried to warn him.
Bootin, not Hootin. He mentions that he's done. He's not going to bother Henrietta anymore. He's upset with the workers. And he tells Henrietta that she only owes him $17, which is probably like a bunch of money back then, but I didn't look it up because I don't know what year this came out. Or I know what year it came out, but I don't know what year it's based on. So he says that she owes him $17 and he will go on his way, but she offers to raise his salary for him to stay, but he's going to leave. And he said that he's not sticking around, so she pays him his money and he is leaving before the morning because he doesn't want Bootin, not Hootin, to see him, right? But then Bootin wakes up in the morning and he tries to find his new friend Link. And his mother has to break the news that, of course, Link is gone. But then before Link can catch his boat out of there, we
Uh,
see. Go ahead.
I have it in my notes. I don't know if this is in the trivia section. Um, that I don't know, 1778, but that's not right. Never mind, sorry.
Um, we see before he leaves, we then catch that Link is in a bar gambling on poker. Bryson finds him, and we learn that he's been gambling all night,
Mhm.
and and he's beating everybody. He is hustling people. He's clearly done this before, and he's gonna use his winnings to catch his ship. He leaves the bar, but when he leaves the bar, Bootman and all the workers are there on horseback saying that they will continue to work hard for him and they don't want him to leave. But he insists that he's gonna get that he's getting out. He's going to the boat. He leaves. It's a very sad scene. Um, Booten, not Hooten, is very sad, and everybody's bummed out that he's leaving. He's like, I don't know what it's called when you like use like a smaller boat to get to a bigger boat. He's like trawling his way out there or whatever. Yeah, dingy, that's the word. But then Booten says,
I didn't hear the dinner bell ringing. Did you?
so what happens then?
So Link rolls his eyes and tells the guy, turn back around and row to shore.
Because he knows he can't be a quitter.
He just got called out on his own advice that he can't abandon him now.
So we then see that
Good job,
we
boy.
we
Good
then
job.
see that Link uses the money from his winnings of poker to buy everybody boots for the the riding and the catching of the animals.
Yeah.
They begin to practice their skills nonstop.
Mhm.
Um, but then we see Bryson, who was talking to the witch doctor from earlier, some money and tells him he doesn't care how he does it, but he does not want the cattle rounded up for the sale. So Bryson is angry and he's in on this. The next scene, they are attempting to catch the cattle from the garden, but one of the workers falls off the horse sick. He's
Yeah.
very sick. He's very much like he's in a coma. They are calling it death by sorcery because people here are very superstitious. You want to talk about the dude in the coma, or you want me to keep going?
So, did you talk about Bryson?
Yeah, he paid the guy.
Did you talk about his name though?
I don't know the guy's name.
So, the guy that we saw at the beginning of the film that he got in the fight with the spears,
The witch doctor.
his name is Malcolma.
Okay.
And like you said, Bryson paid him
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of the guy, Link. Anyway, he doesn't want it traced back to him. So the man um, goes and confronts Malcolma, and because he has put this, at this point, we find out he's a witch doctor. So somehow the people knew what he had done to this guy.
Yeah, because he like basically like is in a coma.
Yeah, so the man goes and confronts Malcolma, and
Because
they,
the workers will no longer work for him because they were afraid, superstitious of what happened. Go ahead, back to you.
yeah, and the guy in a coma, the regular doctor came to see him and basically said he was going to die. So everybody's like sad and scared at this point. So Link goes to confront Malcolma in this like temple like area.
Cave, yeah.
And has several close calls, but then they end up getting into yet another fist fight.
They wrestle. Yep.
Link wins and then brings him back to the house where the guy's in the coma after he fights with him and tells him to reverse what he did. So Malcolma then reverses the curse.
Very anticlimactically.
Yeah. And then somebody said, yeah, he will not die now. And the guy starts talking to them again. And then the mom's like, no, you need to lay here and rest. And then they start wrangling cattle.
They all get back to work. And then the next scene is the day that they have that they will officially try to wrangle the cattle. They capture many cattle, and they're really excited. And to celebrate, they sing a song on their way back. But they are attempting that, so they have to basically raft these cattle out to sea. But the raft capsizes because it's too much weight and it's too like uneven because there's so many cattle. So they have to save the cattle from the water, but then they see that the cattle, in lack of better terms, are doggy paddling their way back to the sea. So they realize that if they tie the cattle to the raft to tow them
By the horns.
by the horns, they can actually bring these animals out to the water.
Unless they're sharks.
True.
Dun dun dun.
But
Just
then
kidding.
the captain of the ship is talking about how he's going to buy these cattle and bring them for
$17.
15 first. So he's going to buy these cattle to bring them to California, but he only offers them $15 a head. But the people say, like, a gentleman is not supposed to lie in front of the presence of a lady. We will not take anything less than 20. So he does end up going for the 20.
17.
And they're like 20.
And the lady said 20 or nothing.
Yeah. So he does get the 20.
She drives a hard bargain.
But Bryson is not having this. He's having a fit, and he orders his worker guy that's been like creeping throughout this film to stampede the cattle.
Yes. Is this our first Disney stampede?
I'm sure no. We watched all those animal documentaries.
I don't remember there being a stampede in the animal documentaries.
I'm sure. Deep dive into magicpod@gmail.com. Well, in a couple films, we have to rewatch the best of those animals, whatever the movies that we watch. So prepare your note-taking skills for that. So long story short, he orders the worker to stampede these cattle, which he does. The animals get freed, and all of their hard work is ruined. But on top of that, so is the village.
Yeah.
Anything? Keep going.
So
they ruin everything.
Yeah, the village is ruined. So not only did they lose all their money that they were about to make, the entire village is just ransacked with cattle they had ran through and like knocked all their houses down. Yeah. So Link goes to catch Bryson's henchman. I don't think we ever caught his name.
No, he's just creeping.
And he confronts him about it, and he says, "I'm not going to kill you because I need you."
Yeah, but before that, they do end up working together to catch they wrangle some of the cattle back up.
Yeah.
And then he goes and catches I called him the culprit.
Yeah. So then he gets in another fight, and then he gets Bryson locked up.
Yeah, so basically he returns him to Bryson to prove that they are that they are on him. But one of the things about getting this dude arrested and getting locked up is that he demands Henrietta's loan note to be forgiven. And he's like, I can't do that. It's signed or whatever. And he's like, he demands it to happen. So he does do it. A fist fight ensues. Bryson gets thrown through the window, but then Bryson gets arrested, and the deed is done, literally. Yeah. So the next day, they're bringing their cattle to the shore. There's some more hijinks when they're trying to wade the cattle through the water, but they end up being able to taxi the cattle to the rowboats. They are successful. They are successfully able to get the cattle onto the ship, and they make their money. Henrietta is crying with excitement. But the captain offers to give Link a ride back to his desired destination because that's where he's going. But Link decides that he has to stay with Henrietta and the family, his new family.
The Pineapple Cowboys. He called them the Pineapple Cowboys.
But you know what else he does?
He also calls the boy by the correct name for the very first time.
He finally calls Bootin by Bootin, not Hootin. And then that's the end of the film.
Yeah. Pineapple Cowboy.
So does this so what do we got for facts? What do we got for ratings?
So facts. Like you said, this is the second, but it is also the final of two collaborations for Vera Miles and James Gardner. And like you had mentioned, they worked together in the previous year, 1973, in One Little Indian.
They named it on us.
And which was also a Western. It was the second of two pictures in consecutive years for Walt Disney that starred James Gardner. James Gardner had headlined in The One Little Indian, like we had mentioned.
They named it on us.
And the real-life tropical island that portrayed the South Pacific Isle that Lieutenant Lincoln Costain was castaway on was actually the island of Kauai in
Mhm.
Hawaii. I probably butchered the name, sorry. And the majority of the picture was actually shot on location there. The location of the Pacific Island was an isle in the Sandwich Islands. This is another name that they call Hawaii, as it is given the name Hawaiian Islands by English nautical explorer James Cook in 1970 or 1778. He
1970, after this film came
yeah,
out.
he was the first European to discover the territory. The Islanders sang a cute little song when they were all kind of like getting along together and riding their horses. Come I kai yi yippee yippee yay, and I thought that was a catchy little tune. Um, this is one of a number of Walt Disney productions made about castaways. Some of the other ones included the hit 1960s family castaway film, The Swiss Family Robinson,
Good film. Made that list.
the 1962 movie In Search of Castaways,
Loved that film. Didn't make the list. You just told me that the other day.
and obviously the Castaway Cowboy that we just watched. Coming up in 1980, The Last Flight of Noah's Ark, and then in 1990, Shipwrecked.
It's true. Didn't we watch a film about? Well, I was kidnapped. But
That actually is probably my least favorite film.
well, maybe one day we'll do that. We have 100. We gotta do a lot. But um,
That's number one. I actually like Treasure Island better than Kidnapped. And I didn't like Treasure Island.
what about Victory Through Air Power, which made our
I like
which
that.
made our
Made our
top
list.
made our list because it was not like there wasn't a full 10 for us to not let it make it. So when we do our ranking, it's gonna be skewed. But either way, what did you rate? What do we got for a rating?
So
And I hope you don't steal my pun because I have a great pun planned for this. Go ahead.
for the Castaway Cowboy, IMDb rated this a 5.7 out of 10.
Fair.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
So yeah, it's pretty standard for both of us. But so you mentioned you liked it
hmm
better than you thought you did.
hmm
I'm happy about that. Does it make your list upon a star?
It does not make my list upon star.
So
It did not
can you,
apple its way onto my list.
can you read your list upon a star through the impressive 116 films that we've watched so far? And we are in the second to last film about 1974.
All right. So I have 101 Dalmatians, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, Napoleon and Samantha, Snowball Express, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, Lady and the Tramp, and Bedknobs and Broomstick.
Yes. So this film, and it was a film, it wasn't bad. It was pretty self-explanatory. Um, as much of a hootin' it got the bootin' off of my list, so it did not make my list upon a star. So my list upon a star through 116 films still is 101 Dalmatians, followed by Mary Poppins, followed by Peter Pan, followed by Robin Hood, followed by Alice in Wonderland, followed by Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and then Babes in Toyland, Napoleon and Samantha, The Aristocats at 9, and then on the chopping block still, the second film that we ever watched, all the way back from the year 1940. My number 10 is Pinocchio, and we will put that right here. But that being said, our next film that we are watching in a few days is number 117. Believe it or not, we made it to 117, and it is the final film of the year 1974. From December of 1974. It is a film called The Island at the Top of the World that I can't wait to watch with you all and talk about. The film called The Island at the Top of the World from December of 1974, film 117. But before we do leave, thank you for hanging out with us. I can't say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe that we made it to 116 films. It's amazing. And we couldn't have done it without all of you. So again, thank you for your kind words. We are on Instagram. If you want to shoot us a follow, Deep Diving the Magic. We are on Spotify if you want to listen or watch along. Speaking of watch along, we are on YouTube. We would love to have you on YouTube, Deep Diving the Magic. If you want to tell your friends or if you want to give us a like, subscribe, or a follow, uh, comments. But speaking of comments, you could reach us at deepdivingthemagicpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Um, a lot of fun things coming, but one of the fun things that is coming is film number 117 next from December of the year 1974, because I can't believe we've almost finished the year 1974, and it is, of course, The Island at the Top of the World. Um, I can go on, but thank you all for hanging out with us, and there we go.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.